بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Interpretation of the Holy Quran.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. With the help of Allah, we begin a brief commentary of Quran. We reach the last verses of chapter Yunus. Chapter Yunus is the 10th chapter of Quran, which is revealed in Mecca. It has 109 verses. Please listen to verse 107.
وإن يمسسك الله بضر فلا كاشف له إلا هو وإن يردك بخير فلا راد لفضله يصيب به من يشاء من عباده وهو الغفور الرحيم.
And if Allah should afflict you with harm, then there is none to remove it but He. And if He intends good to you, there is none to repel His grace. He brings it to whom He pleases of His servants, and He is the forgiving, the merciful. In previous verse, Allah had ordered the Prophet that you should not call anything, anybody other than Allah. Nothing and nobody can harm or benefit other than Allah. وَلَا تَدْعُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَنْفَعُكَ وَلَا يَضُرُّكَ. Something that cannot benefit you or harm you. In this verse, Allah explains a little more and says, وَإِنْ يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ. You should understand that if some problems, disasters affect you, nobody can solve it, nobody can help other than Allah. Nobody can remove the problem. If a person will be sick, if the earthquake is coming, if the Gabriel, Israel has come to take a life for a person, when a person becomes mad, for example, even financially, if a person financially will face a serious problem, Allah wants to say that nobody can help him except Allah. In previous verse we said, yes, in some cases there is a chance that a person will help. The doctor will give the medicine. Another person will give money. Another person will give a position. But it is helping Allah through the tools. This is not helping people. Allah says if Allah doesn't want, nobody can do anything. It means those who are helping are with the permission of Allah, with the power of Allah. Allah allows, then they can help. Doctor give the medicine, but cureness is in the hand of Allah. Sometimes the medicine will make a person worse. وَإِنْ يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ. If Allah afflict you with harm, there is no remover for that. Nobody can solve it. وَإِنْ يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. And you should know that if Allah decides to help a person by His grace, فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. There is nobody to stop Allah from His grace. Nobody is able to make an obstacle. There is a narration which says, angels are asked that when you are laughing, they said we are laughing in two different circumstances. One, when Allah decides to help a person and give him position and good life, and all people try their best to humiliate him and bother him, and they can't. And also the opposite of that, sometimes, and they say when people are trying to do that, we laugh. And also the opposite, when Allah decides to hurt a person, to make a problem for a person. If all people try to solve his problem and they can't, we laugh. And here Allah says, if Allah gives the problem and harm once, afflict a person harm, nobody can do anything. There is no remover for that. وَإِن يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. And if Allah decides for a person to help or something good, فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. Nobody can stop Allah. Nobody can make an obstacle. يُصِيبُ بِهِ مَن يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. Whoever Allah will be pleased of course He will see good. يُصِيبُ بِهِ, He brings it to whom He pleases of His servants. It means He brings good to whoever He wants. وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. And Allah is forgiving, is merciful. So we have understood that Allah is the one that sometimes decides to give good to a person, and regarding to harm or hurt, Allah says, وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ. It means بِضُرٍّ. It means if a person will face problems, Allah will not decide bad for anybody. Of course, people by their sins are choosing bad for themselves. So when we see bad, it is because of ourselves. When we see good, it is because Allah yuridka bi khayrin. Allah has decided to give good to a person. Yes, sometimes Allah will punish a person, but the punishment is because of ourselves. As we read in chapter verse 11, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Surely Allah is not going to change any nation, any people, any group of people unless حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ, unless they change themselves. So if we achieve something terrible, if we face some problems, some disasters, it is because of ourselves, and sometimes Allah wants to examine us by some problems that is something else and it is not bad. From this sentence we have understood وَإِن يَمْسَسْكَ اللَّهُ بِضُرٍّ فَلَا كَاشِفَ لَهُ إِلَّا هُوَ وَإِن يُرِدْكَ بِخَيْرٍ فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ. We have understood that if we face problems, nobody can help except Allah. And if Allah decides to give good to a person, nobody can stop. Good and bad, both are in the hand of Allah. If some people will help us, will benefit us or hurt us, it still is with the permission of Allah. And permission of Allah, it means the power is from God. The ability is from God. It doesn't mean that Allah approves or Allah wants it. Allah doesn't want bad in any way. Allah doesn't want any person oppress somebody else. But if a person oppresses, is with the help and the power that he got from Allah. We said sometimes Allah punishes us with disaster and problems, and sometimes Allah examines us. And he said that I'm going to examine you by sometimes taking life of a person, a member of the family, or by money, to take some of the money to put you in difficult circumstances, to take some of your food to see your reaction. And also, فَلَا رَادَّ لِفَضْلِهِ, there is nobody to make obstacle from Allah's grace. We have understood that whatever Allah gives is because of His grace, not because we deserve that. Thank you very much for watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.